Hello everybody, and welcome to the screencast showing you how to download and sort of start developing with Vincent. So I've got an Ubuntu installation, so we're doing all the Ubuntu commands and package names, etc. But for other distributions, I'm sure you'll be able to, yum search or app cache search, you'll be able to find the right packages for your distribution. So first we need some dependencies. So for example, for Node, we're going to have to get the sorry, not for Node. Yeah, we're going to have to get the PAM module, and we have to build that PAM module. And unfortunately, that PAM module gets compiled when it gets pulled down. So we need to install its requirements. So it'll be this one. So libpam0dev, libpam0g-dev on Ubuntu. And then you also need to install the build essential tools, because it needs to compile all of the stuff. So we need make and GCC and all of that good stuff. So we can install that as well. Sudo apt-get install build essential, and say yes, and away it goes. And then while we're waiting for that, we should also get the Node JS packages from Node.js website. You can try and use the one that comes with your distribution, but it might not be version might be too old to support the syntax that we're using in our code, because we're using ES 2015 syntax, and it does get compiled down to ES ECMAScript 5 syntax. So it can, once it's built, it can run on different versions of Node. But during the build process, to compile it to ECMAScript 5, you need to have a version of Node that can do that and understand the syntax. Okay, so wait for this to install. Okay, and it's done. So we can go wget, and this is the version of Node that's available at this point in time. So we'll just pull it down, and what we're going to do then is make a directory called bin in our home directory, and make a directory called projects, where we'll pull down our GitHub repo to. Let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so make the bin. We'll move our download into the bin directory, cd into bin, uncompress the file. Okay, so that's Node done. Now we need to edit our bashrc file just to add the path, so we don't have to keep on writing the full path every time we want to run Node. So for this, we'll go to home directory and edit bashrc. Right at the bottom here, we'll put in path, export path equals $path : and then we'll put the path to our Node installation, which was bin, and then we have to get the path. So let me quickly go back and get that. Print working directory, or cd node print working directory. So actually cd all the way into the bin directory of that. So we're in here, home bin node, full name for the Node installation folder, and then the bin directory there. So that's the one we want. Let's go back to editing our bashrc file, and we're going to add this to the end here after the double colon. Okay, so all should be good. We can then source the file. Okay, and if we go echo $path, we should see our path adjusted. And if you type in node, we should get to our node command prompt, and then we can just exit with process.exit to get back to our normal command. Okay, so we've got that so far. What we want to do now is basically make sure git is installed, apt-get install git, as we're going to need it to pull down everything from the repository. And then we need to actually pull down our repository, right? So for this, we can use git clone, and we just put the path to our repository. Actually, let's we should actually go into directory up, a couple of directories up, go into our home directory, or one more up into the home directory, and go make the projects. Let's cd into projects, and then we'll run our command from here. So we got it in a separate directory. Okay, oh, that was pretty quick. Okay, so now we're in our project directory. We can cd into Vincent, and what we should be able to do now is just type in node package manager install to install all of the dependencies. Now, if you have a conflict, a build, something goes wrong during the build process, we'll get error messages and we'll have to resolve those. And this could take some time, so I'm going to, pause it now, and we'll come back once it's finished installing all of its dependencies. Okay, I've got an error here because I also need Python installed, which we'll quickly install now. So apt-get install Python. Sudo apt-get install Python. Install that, and once that's installed, then we will restart the npm install step. Okay, so it seems to be done here, and let's just run. Not that. One up, go back to our npm install and run that again and let it finish. Okay, so it's managed to rebuild it. We really need to end the dependency on this package because it needs so much Python and GCC and everything just to build the integration. But that's one of the issues which we'll deal with later in development. Okay, so it's all finished. Now what we need to do is create our home Vincent file. So Vincent will create a .vincent directory in his home directory. In this case, we're going to be running it as a currently logged in user. So that will be in the current user's home directory. So if I went echo $home, I'll see what my current home directory is. So I'm going to go make the .vincent. Okay, and then I'm going to copy from conf example my config.inr all the way through to this .vincent directory. Okay, then I can edit it. So vi .vincent config inr. Now what we want to enter here is we're going to be generating some SSL certificates, and so we're going to have to put them in the right location. So this is going to end up being in home. In my case, my home directory is Vincent, and it's going to be under the projects directory once we generate it, and it's going to be called the key will be called Vincent.key, and the public key, it's a private key. The private key will just be called the public key will be called Vincent.crt. So this is going to generate a self-signed certificate, so we can get the SSL working. Projects Vincent .crt. Okay, so there we go. If you've got any typos there, we'll soon discover when you start up the project if we get that wrong. Okay, so now we must go just one up into our projects directory, and we can then run the OpenSSL command to be able to generate our certificates. Now this is all documented in the README file or README MD, so you should be able to get it there or on the Vincent homepage on GitHub. Okay, so we're going to Vincent key and Vincent CRT. Enter our code: South Africa, state or province, Gauteng, location Johannesburg, organization, let's just call it Vincent, and our username, call it dev. Okay, and the fully qualified name doesn't really matter, so we can call it Vincent.abc.io, and the address, you can put an address in here as well, support@abc.io. Right? Okay, so that's done. If we go ls now, we'll see we've got our Vincent CRT and our Vincent key. And if we go back to our, and if we go, print working directory, and we can see it's in home Vincent project. So if we go back to our config file, Vincent config.inr, we're going to see home Vincent projects Vincent. Make this key, sorry, not BEM, so I spotted a mistake there. Key and Vincent CRT, so we will write that and quit that. Okay, now we can go back into our actual Vincent directory where our code is, and we can run npm compile or run compile, and this will You know, JavaScript obviously normally doesn't need to be compiled, but this is taking it from ES 2015 to ECMAScript 5 syntax, and also doing some polyfills. You know, getting these build processes working in Node.js is quite a lot of infrastructure that you need to have set up. And we did that quite a while ago, so I've forgotten all the details, but it compiles. Okay, so it's compiled, and the project is now sitting under lib. And to run things, then we'll go node lib main.js. Now, if it's going to fail because it can't find the configuration file, or it can't connect, it can't actually find the directories that it needs. Now, what you'll notice here, it is connected. If we so let me start it again and put it in the background. So I'll go Control Z and I'll put it in the background like that. Okay, so if we go netstat-lntp, we should see it listening on port 1979. So that's the port that Vincent by default listens on. So now if we install the Vincent client, we can connect to the server and start using it. One thing you'll notice, if I go ls and I go to the Vincent directory, we'll see it's created various subdirectories for us, like the DB directory, where it's going to store all of the configurations and archives and all of that good stuff. The engine file, where it stores the configuration files for the different engines, and we also got things like keys and scripts, which we will talk about later in later videos. So that's it for setting up Vincent server. Please let us have any feedback. Thanks.